Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 7th. This week, you start with this card. It says, you know the way. It says, trust your intuition on this journey. You know what's really funny here, Virgo, is that your next card says, get lost. It says, fall deep into the realm of imagination. So isn't that funny? It's like you have a card of knowing the way, but you also have a card of getting lost. So that's pretty funny. That could tell me that this kind of gives me the vibes. And you have an adventure card right off the bat with the Page of Wands. But it kind of gives me the vibes of, and you have another adventure card here. But it gives me the vibes of like thinking that you don't know what to do when you actually do know what to do. Or like you could be starting a journey where you actually know more than you think, or you're much more capable than you think. And I feel you need to realize that here, Virgo, with this energy for sure. And I do feel it's an amazing time for adventure for you. As I always talk about with you, we have the South Node in Virgo and we have the North Node in Pisces right now transiting. And so, yes, I've been getting a lot of comments about this. Yes, I'm talking about the current transits. I'm not talking about your personal astrology, right? So I'm talking about the astrology in general. And what's interesting about this is that, Pisces is very imaginative. So that, like, in the North Node is kind of like your destiny, right? So even though this is only a transit, even though it will only last for like 16 more months or so, that it will be in Pisces and, South Node and Virgo, it could be a very, like, imaginative time where you being more dreamy could be a good thing. You start here in your current general energies with the Page of Wands, the Nine of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. Page of Wands about being very adventurous, kind of going on adventures, looking for new ways of doing things, all that other good stuff. I feel like you're about to earn something is what's popping into my head here with this Page of Wands. He has this feather in his cap, but it's a small feather. And if we look at the Fool card, for example, the Fool card has a feather that's like, 18 feet long sticking out of the top of his head. So earning a feather in your cap is like earning something. And that's not what this card means, but that's what I'm getting intuitively, that you are about to earn something. And I'm not saying like you're about to. I feel like you're going on a journey where you will earn something. So if you're thinking about like going back to school or getting a certification or any of that stuff, that would be good. But this could be more like just different. It's like you're having an experience that kind of gives you a feather in your cap. And I think it's good. You have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups, of course, is a card of wish fulfillment or fulfillment in general. So I feel a lot of you should be focusing on fulfillment at this time. I think everybody should. We should all be focusing on like personal fulfillment, like what brings us joy, happiness, love, peace, and enlightenment, good feelings, all that other stuff. That's really what I would focus on with the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups does say make a wish, so I do feel that it could be time for you to make some sort of wish and to ask for something. That's like more the message I'm getting here is that you need to ask for something. It's like you need to put it out there and claim it. And I'm pretty sure I said this to you recently. Now that I say that, I'm like I had major deja vu as I just said that. So maybe I have recently said that to you. You have the Page of Wands, which is saying, like, you have to be willing to go on the adventure. I'm also hearing that you need to be willing to make the commitment. It's like longer than you think. It's like you can't, I feel, for whatever reason, I feel like the whole reading, everything going on here, and you end with that Four of Wands, which is like commitment, but just like intuitively, I feel like the reading itself is saying, it's like giving, like, let's say you want to start a project, giving something a month is not going to be enough time, right? Like I feel like this is saying, if you really want something, then you need to start it and never stop. and you might be saying, yeah, but when will I know when it works? And the answer is when it works, right? I think you just need to be willing to do something without it needing to work right now. And, that's really what I would say. It kind of reminds me, I told this story recently. I used to get the question all the time from people, for whatever reason, where they would ask me, like, should I write a book, right? And I used to tell those people all the time, well, real writers write. So it's like, if you're going to be a writer, you have to write. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. And it doesn't matter if it does well or not. A writer writes. And you might have to stick with that for years to get that to work. And so, and to be very successful, right? So, that's kind of what's popping into my head with this Knight of Wands. It's like saying that you need to be willing to play the long game. Now, I'm not saying it's going to take a long time, because actually I think what the reading is getting at is that it's not going to take a long time for you to be successful. But you have to be willing to stick to it no matter whatever it is you're trying to do here. Let's see. I also do feel love with these Wands cards. It could be a fire sign. You've had a fire sign. I'm like, it's starting to get creepy, Virgo, at this point, because you've had a fire sign all up in your business for years. So it's like, is this person just spying, not making moves? I don't know. With the Two of Pentacles, sorry, with the Page of Wands, you have the Two of Pentacles. Like, I feel like you are very busy. Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands, Six of Wands, these are all cards of a lot of movement. So I really don't feel like this is talking about anything. I think it's just saying that, for the rest of the summer, you are going to be very busy and doing a lot of work, probably between now and like September, October, things won't really slow down until maybe October-ish time. And but I don't think this is a bad thing at all, Virgo. I think that you're going to be getting results. Things will probably be feeling pretty good. So, pretty good. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Two of Swords, which you have twice here. The other thing here is that the Two of Swords, Nine of Cups can say you are getting a wish, but it just looks different than you expect, right? And so it's like sometimes that happens where we wish for something or we ask for something, and maybe it just looks different than what we originally thought we wanted. So I kind of feel like the Two of Swords is just saying stay open to like what this wish could look like. It's like maybe you're wishing for love, and maybe you're saying like I want to date a person that looks like Tom Brady or something like that. And it's like maybe you end up meeting someone who looks like Bill Brady, Tom's younger brother. It's like the same, maybe they're very similar but different, right? There you go. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Ten of Cups. There you go. Fortune after difficulty. So this could be very good for you in love-wise if you're looking for love. Ten of Cups is everything you want and desire in love. The Ten of Cups also says it's time to dream. Seems to be a very dreamy time right now. And you have the Seven of Cups as well. We have Mercury going retrograde. This year we will have Neptune retrograding back into Pisces, which is very dreamy energy. So, and, as I've said to many people, this is like our last chance to dream the impossible dream. Like this is, Neptune and Pisces is kind of like the impossible dream. And you might be saying it's impossible. No, it's not. That's the whole point of Neptune and Pisces with Saturn right there. So with Saturn there, especially because Saturn's also going to retrograde back into Pisces, and they're both going to move back into Aries in January and February of next year, is that if there was ever a chance where we could accomplish something that seems impossible, it would definitely be right now. And that's what I would do with the Ten of Cups. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this deep breath card and this feeling the world card. Sorry, I was petting my dog, and one of her hairs is in my eye. But anyway, I think that you need to take a deep breath. I think everybody does. I think there are going to be a lot of things to worry about, a lot of things that we're going to be feeling about the world just moving forward. And we need to make sure that we take control of those feelings and that we focus on things that we can control so that we just aren't always worried, right? In like this heightened state of anxiety. And we need to control that. So, that's what I would do here with these cards. You have the Six of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. The Six of Wands can be a card of growth and success. I do feel like a lot of you could be growing in a big way with these Six of Wands. I also feel there's a ton of attention available for you, Virgo. I feel like I've been saying this, especially for those of you that have a job or a career or business that requires getting attention or that does get attention. There you go. My phone just dinged. So, that's what I would pay attention to there. It's kind of fun. So I feel like I need to tell you this. My brother literally said to me this morning that he has a dentist appointment at 8 o'clock. It's 8:30 right now, by the way. And then he texted me again, and he said, oh, they changed it to 10. And now he just texted me, and that text message said that, oh, no, it was at 8. Their system messed up. You have the Knight of Swords here. This is the reason I'm telling you this, is because we have a Mercury retrograde this month of July on the 17th. It starts on the 17th, goes to August 12th. But, we always have the shadow. So you might want to double check things. The funny thing about that is, like, literally this morning, I was thinking to myself, I wonder if he was actually wrong. Obviously, I was right. So the other thing I would do is I would trust your intuition. And I would make sure that you're trusting your intuition. You have but the Six of Wands is great for attention. You have the Knight of Swords. No rushing. Again, I would double check things for sure. It's kind of funny that just happened, that I got that text message, and then you have this Knight of Swords as well. Knight of Swords can be like rushing or jumping to conclusions or, kind of like skipping over things, which is like very classic retrograde energy. Again, if you're going to make, I think retrogrades are not that big of a deal, especially Mercury retrogrades. Usually the mistakes we make during Mercury retrograde are those tiny little mistakes, those little annoyances, those little things that kind of mess us up, right? And so the Knight of Swords definitely would say, double check anything that you're doing. If you do that, you'll be fine. The Knight of Swords also sometimes I feel is good. In your reading, it's like I kind of feel very neutral. I do feel things are speeding up for you. He is a card of speed and things taking off very quickly. So there are some things that could be taking off quickly for you here. I'm also getting something like, something just popped into my head as well. Like, don't be afraid to go against the crowd is what's popping into my head with this card. You know, you have that Six of Wands. Sometimes I feel with the Six of Wands, you know, the story of this card is that he's been to war, and now he's coming back from war, and he's being celebrated. So he's been through something difficult. But I'm wondering, like, what's popping into my head is that some of you could be being proven right, but like in the future, meaning that maybe everybody's going one way, you decide to go the other, and people might be calling you crazy now, but maybe in the future you are being proven right. So, you know, that's what I would say there with that card. You have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles can represent feeling left out in the cold. It's like, I don't know, I feel pretty big about this. This is a big message for you, Virgo. I feel like you're working on a lot of things about yourself. I don't know, I have weird messages popping into my head with this card. I feel like you are looking at yourself in every sense of the word. This feels like more like a deep work card to me for you, where you could be thinking things like, you know, you could be thinking about how you appear when you're standing in line at the store, right? And what I mean by that is that you could be thinking about ways to appear more confident, right? Or you could be thinking about ways to, you know, pull in more energy, or I don't know. Like, I'm getting weird messages like that. Like this is really talking about personal development, and you know, of course, this is a good thing. You know, the Five of Pentacles would be feeling very small. And I feel like you are doing things so that you don't feel small anymore. You know, you could be taking up more space, which is good. I think now is an excellent time for people to take up more space. I talk about it in almost every single reading because it's like critically important that we all do this right now. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting there. But I think that's more talking about work. I don't really think it's talking about anything. You have two cards with the Six of Wands. You have the Knight of Cups. I'm sorry, the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. So this could be a love offer, like we talked about. Could also be an earth sign. The Knight of Pentacles is a little bit slow, but still, I literally said that this person has been slow at the beginning of the reading. But the Ace of Cups is like being very happy. It would be your emotions overflowing. So this could be a very good connection coming in for you here that causes your emotions to overflow. So if you're looking for love, looks amazing. Also, like I said, Knight of Pentacles is about just getting started. So even if you're worried that you're going to be wrong about something because of what everyone else is doing, don't be worried. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands, again, going on adventure. When this happens to me, it's just saying that the reading is going in this direction. So going down to the Eight of Cups, personally I like the Eight of Cups because the Eight of Cups says you're walking away from things that no longer serve you, and you are walking towards things that do. It's just that simple, Virgo. So I feel like you are walking towards bigger and better things with that card. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is a card of like charging forward in a direction. So I feel for a lot of you that you could be charging forward in a new direction here with the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is also adventure. How crazy is this? You have these two repeating, these two repeating. So that's interesting. The Knight of Wands is the card of the true builder in the tarot. And so like I was saying, it's like you could be rebuilding yourself at this time. I really am not getting anything traditional about that Five of Pentacles. It's saying to me that you are noticing things. Like literally, I know that's not much of a message, but I literally feel you just notice things. You might be, like I said, you might be standing in line in the store, and you might be thinking to yourself, like, why am I making myself small right now? This could be the way you talk to people. It's like maybe you're talking to people, and maybe after you're thinking to yourself, you know, I could have been more assertive in that conversation, right? It's like I think there are all these like little things that are happening, and it's like multiple. And you know, maybe you're just going on the adventure of like personal development or making yourself more confident or whatever. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's good. I like it. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this impulse card and this trust card. Yeah, maybe it would be a good time to trust your impulses. You know, with that North Node in Pisces, it's probably a good time for you to like learn to trust your intuition and learn to trust your inner knowingness, right? And I feel a lot of you could be doing that with these cards, but I feel like you have to trust yourself with this energy. And, you know, you could be having a lot of impulses, which I also think would be very good with this card. Like, you know, you could have a lot of just like random feelings that you feel, and I would kind of like follow those feelings, right? And follow your heart. You have the Five of Cups. This is something that I think everybody is dealing with. Like, I think a lot of us have experienced a lot of disappointments over the past many years, and some very difficult disappointments at that. So like feeling like we have lost things that we really wanted, right? It's like one thing to lose something, but it's another thing to lose something that you thought you really wanted, And this could be love. Like, I think, and I've heard this story from a lot of people that they tell me that they've lost the love of their life, right? In some way, maybe they got left or cheated on or whatever. Same thing with work. It's like some people have lost their dream job. Why? I don't know. Part of me thinks Neptune and Pisces. Part of me feels like Neptune and Pisces is like, no, you thought that was good, but it really wasn't. There's partially an illusion there that you weren't buying into. Neptune and Pisces, like an element of Neptune and Pisces, there's a part of it that I think really wants us, the universe is telling us that we have to create heaven on earth. And that might be why it looks like hell right now. That's what I try to tell people. I always say this, and people are like, how can you say that? There's all these horrible things going on. I'm like, exactly. It's because it's the opposite. We have to go the other direction. But again, I think right now, the thing that I've been preaching to people, and yeah, I am getting preachy. Yes, I am standing on my soapbox with this one as well, is that we have to be the ones to do it. It's not, the robots aren't going to save us. Definitely the government isn't going to save us, which, whatever. So, again, we have to be the ones, us little people. We have to make the decision. We have to say, no, I don't want this anymore, right? And, that because we have to see how much power we have. And, that's what the universe is trying to get us to do. So I think that, there in some ways there are a lot of past disappointments you've dealt with. And I feel now the universe is saying, yeah, but how can you create it better for yourself? How can you be the one that makes it happen? And there you go. Really, the answer is you just have to commit, which we said at the beginning of the reading. Next, sorry, this is a brand new deck, by the way, and these cards, brand new decks, if you don't know, they stick perfectly to this table. But you have the Two of Wands here. Two of Wands is a card of taking the lead in your life. Two of Wands is also about getting out into the world, which I think would be amazing for you, to get out into the world, or, to move in a new direction in the world in some way. And yeah, that's exactly what I would do with the Two of Wands. Two of Wands, he also has this world in his hand. So again, he has to get out into the world. You have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is kind of like walking away from things that no longer serve you. And so I feel a lot of you need to walk away from things that no longer serve you. And that's what I would be doing with this card, especially if something just no longer serves you, right? I look at the Eight of Cups as a good card because, again, he is walking away from something that no longer serves him. How is that a bad thing, right? Obviously, that is a good thing with the Eight of Cups. Let's see. With the Five of Cups, you have the World. Damn. I think you are completing a lot of journeys. This might be a little bit of an intense week for you here, Virgo. I'm not going to lie. You might need to take some extra naps this week, right? And I would pay attention to that for sure. Like, if you need a nap, take a nap. If you need a break, take a break. If you need to sleep later, and really listen to your body, because it feels like you're doing a lot to me. And, I'm not trying to be overly dramatic here, but I think this is more like personal development work and things like that. But it's like you're accomplishing a lot, so that's good. I think the world is saying you need to, the thing that you thought you lost, you need to create it yourself in the world. And that's what I would do there. With the Two of Wands, you have the Four of Swords. Yeah, Four of Swords can be like resting, relaxing, recovering, or healing. So I feel for a lot of you that you could be doing a lot of resting, relaxing, recovering, and healing with the Four of Swords. I also think you need to ask for something. He is hoping and praying. And we said this at the beginning. He's hoping and praying for a blessing. So I feel a lot of you need to ask for blessings, or you need to ask the universe for a blessing. With the Eight of Cups, yes, you have the Two of Cups. Virgo has definitely learned this lesson. I'm cheating, as always, in your readings because of the astrology. I think based off your astrology, you have learned what love is, kind of like that song, I Want to Know What Love Is. Who sings that? I don't know. Bonus points if you know who sings that song. But, it's like I think you have learned what true love is. It's like you're no longer... the best way... Don't take this the wrong way, Virgo, but, I feel like some... And again... I'm far from perfect, so I'm not calling you out or anything here, but it's like I think a lot of Virgos have dated their parents, or have dated what they think they didn't get from their parents, if that makes sense. And but again, this is based off your astrology, and I feel like you've learned a lot of lessons from that, and I feel like you're no longer doing that, which is great. This is a good thing. I think a lot of you could be attracting something that's much more actually secure, that's much more stable, that's much better for you, and that's exactly what I would do with that Two of Cups. Next, you have this exchanging gifts card. It says, there is a dance of give and take. What you give, you will get back. You have this crescent moon card. It says, as the moon grows, so can your wealth, health, and happiness. Stay positive. There you go. Love it. So there could be a gift from the universe. Four of Swords can be a gift from the universe as well. So definitely could be some sort of gift that you're receiving here. You have the Four of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and the Two of Swords. Four of Wands is a card of commitment, but I am getting the word convictions here. That's why I said it. Normally, the Seven of Wands is my card of conviction, but I think the Four of Wands says you really need to commit to something. Like, sure, this could be marriage, but I feel that you really need to commit to creating that thing that you thought you lost. And maybe that's where this reading is going. It says, get lost. Fall deep into the realm of imagination. I really feel that you also need to fall in love with life again, just in general, that in all that other cliche spiritual stuff, right? Which I'm very realistic. So, trust me, I puked a little bit in my mouth along with you as I said that. So I'm right there with you, right? It's obviously I work in the spiritual world, but it's I'm a Gemini moon, right? I live in both worlds. I'm not just spiritual. You're not going to catch me at an ayahuasca ceremony, right? It's I get it. I understand why people do it, but to me, it's not something I'm into. So there you go, right? But so I think you need to fall in love with life again. You have the Seven of Cups, if I can grab it. The Seven of Cups is a card of dreaming, especially in the good stuff. This would be very good. It could say that you're visualizing. It could say that you're working on manifesting things that you're visualizing. So I feel very good about that. You have the Two of Swords. Yeah, you just need to see there is another way. It's this is what's popping to mind. I'm going to use love as an example, but just know that I'm not just talking about love. It's maybe you thought you lost the love of your life. And I think you could create those feelings over here, on this island behind her here. And I feel that's what you need to do. It's you could create those feelings you had with that person. And then I feel you will create your real dream life, I don't know. That's really what I'm getting off of the card. A lot of this. With the Four of Wands, you have the Three of Swords. Again, Three of Swords in the good stuff is healing. Three of Swords in the good stuff is forgiveness as well. Three of Swords is about removing those swords from your heart so that you can heal. And I do feel a lot of you could be healing at this time, which is great. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands wants you to be bold, wants you to be assertive, wants you to really go for something. The whole entire reading is really saying go for it. What did this card say? It says, you know the way. Which is really funny because it's you might be saying I don't know the way, but you actually do, is what I would say here. And the Queen of Wands is about learning as you go. And so I think a lot of you actually do know what to do. And yeah, that's kind of what I get there. With the Two of Swords, you have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is quick success or, quick conclusion, moving forward very quickly as well. So I feel a lot of you could be making a lot of success with the Eight of Wands. I feel a lot of forward movement with the Eight of Wands as well. So I feel very good about this. Eight of Wands is also pointing in one direction. So I always say with the Eight of Wands, we have to make sure that we are focusing in one direction. And if we do that, we will be successful. So I would focus in one direction. You have this Axe card. It says forces working against you. I feel a lot of people have felt like this. The tricky thing about July to the middle of August is that we have Mercury retrograde. And this Mercury's going retrograde in Leo, where we had Mars go retrograde. So I have a feeling a lot of people could be feeling if you had a person who was working behind your back, or if you had any issues with people, those things could be coming back up. I would just mostly ignore them. I think that's the best thing to do. You have this January card and this Rat card. It says someone is working against you behind your back. I'm going to pull you another card because that basically says the same thing. So this could have been since January that you have been dealing with this person. It could also be an Aquarius or someone born in January. So if you have a person like that in your life, I would be careful. I feel you need to work at the same level as well as popping into my head. Here, I'm going to pull you this extra card and this one because it's a person. But what I would say is that it's I think your problems, Virgo, are if you work with a person who's at a lower level. I'm not criticizing those people either or anything like that. But it's sometimes I think we need to work with people, especially in work or business, with people who are at the same level as us. And I would be careful of that. You have this Man card that says dealings with relationships with a man. You have this Hills. It says obstacles to overcome. You could be attracting a person from a distance or something. You have the World card. So that could be the obstacle. The other thing is the Two of Wands. It's like sometimes I think with the Two of Wands, we can attract a person where it's like we almost are entering into a different world. You have the Two of Cups as well. Two of Cups is meant to be a person who is different than your usual type. So it could be a person from like a foreign country. It could be a person who grew up differently. It could be a person with different religious beliefs or, whatever. And so, definitely popping into my head. But it looks good. So there you go. You have the Sunrise card. It says new creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start. Yeah, the whole entire freaking reading is basically saying you are taking something that you lost and you're creating it for yourself. That's the best way I can describe it. I hope that makes sense. Here you go. You have this Lion card. It says time to act. Yes. Time for action, Virgo. Time for you to make your move. You have this August card and this Well card. It says family wishes come true. So yeah, by the month, things could really be turning around by the month of August is what I'm getting. I actually think things are feeling good. July is far from perfect with Mercury retrograde, but definitely better. And, I think there are a lot of improvements. I don't think retrogrades ever really ruin it a month. So, some people might feel that way, but not really. So, yeah, I think things look really good here, Virgo. This is a really good reading. I like where this is going. So, thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.